Laser sights will make you a more accurate and confident shooter by providing visual feedback on sight alignment and trigger control. Crimson Trace, making laser sight standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
The #1 national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
All right, we're back with you. Tom Gresham here. It is Gun Talk, and we're talking about, well, guns and shooting and loads and ammo and scopes and anything else that has to do with guns. If it involves pretty much anything that goes bang, we'll talk about it here. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. Before we get to our next guest, I want to get Frank in here from Talkeetna. He's on line 1. He's got, I like what you're doing here, Frank. Explain what you're up to.
How do you do, Tom? Well, I tell you, I was thinking about that statistic you gave earlier. With the millions of guns in America, we only have 7 million NRA members?
No, it's really 5 million.
Oh, my goodness, that's disgraceful and disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do, and I put it out there for your listeners, is I have 2 different prong approaches. One, as you know, Christmas and Hanukkah are coming, and what a wonderful gift to give anybody of any age or political persuasion. A 1-year membership in the NRA, for which there are many, many benefits. The other point that I make is I'm a small business owner here, and occasionally I get a new person working with me. I buy that new person a 1-year prescription, after which it's up to them to keep it or not.
Right.
But that's how I spread the word in those 2 areas.
I think that is brilliant. Congratulations and well done. And let me just throw this out for people who may not be aware. If you want to pump up the numbers, give a membership to everybody in your family, and you can get an associate membership to the NRA for $10. Now, they don't get the magazine, but if you're already getting the magazine in your house, but you want your wife, your son, your daughter, your grandmother, your dog, I don't care whoever it is, to have a membership, and each membership counts. So when Chris Cox or Wayne LaPierre go into a congressman's office, they always say, how's membership? And they go, yeah, well, we're at 6 million, or we're at 7 million. Oh, that's great. They don't ask, well, are they, $35 a year memberships, or are they $10 a year memberships? So you can buy an associate level membership for somebody for $10. Heck of a deal. Frank, brilliant idea. All right, we have been hearing in the news lots and lots of, I don't even want to call it news, lots of semi-reports, stories, perspectives about police shootings. It's complicated, as they say, and so much of the reporting is overblown hyperbole and just noise with a really, really strong anti-cop bent. I am really glad to see this new book, Shots Fired, The Misunderstandings, Misconceptions, and Myths About Police Shootings by Joseph K. Loughlin and Kate Clark Flora. And just want to say that Joe Loughlin is a former assistant chief of police for the city of Portland, Maine, also served as the commander of the SRT team. That's the Special Reaction Team. Joins us right now. Joe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Absolutely. So why write the book?
Wow, it's a long story, Tom. Basically, when I got out of police work, I was writing another book called No Reason, and essentially that was, you can't make any reason out of all the things you see, even in one shift alone as a police officer, and it spanned, the gauntlet from politics to homicides to investigations. And when the Michael Brown case came out and the nation convulsed into this craziness without any facts or information, I had a section in the book about officers who were directly involved in shootings, and some of which the scenes I was on, crime scene manager. And I said, I got to do something about it because there's no way it happened that way, even the first day I saw the case.
Right.
And then what happened, all the pernicious and pervasive rhetoric that went around the country with pieces and parts of information, and it got a little crazy, as you know. So I was inspired to stick with deadly force incidents, and I interviewed officers up and down the East Coast.
Well, the Michael Brown shooting was where we got the myth of the hands up, don't shoot thing, isn't it?
Exactly. That's one of the myths. That never happened. That was definitively proven by multiple medical examiners, our own Justice Department, the state's attorney, the district attorney, and multiple independent investigations that were protracted to arrive at all the same conclusion, that never happened, that Brown was inside the car, assaulting the police officer, trying to get his gun, and it's an entirely different story.
And every officer who has ever gone to an academy knows and has incorporated into his or her being that if the bad guy gets your gun, he's going to shoot you with it, right?
Usually, yes. And in fact, there's been a study with Dr. Richard Johnson between 2013 and 2015. 11% of the officers were killed by totally unarmed people. 6% had their guns taken away, and the remaining percentage were beaten or stomped to death. So an unarmed person has a very, very different meaning to a police officer than it does your average citizen.
And this was a big guy.
He was a huge guy, but I've seen as a cop, for 30 years, I've seen guys 5'6" throw, 3 or 4 cops around, no problem, and 6'6" guys throw cops around.
Wow.
People have very little realistic information about police officers and what they do on a day-to-day basis, but when it comes to deadly force, they have zero information. I sincerely believe that. Unless you've been in the military or a police officer, your understanding is very, very limited. But Tom, I just want to finish one part of what you just said.
Sure.
Every single year in this country, 3,123 some odd people are killed by unarmed persons. We learn in the industry, hands kill, feet kill, elbows kill, headbutts kill. And so that's something that people don't understand. An unarmed person, it can be very, very extremely dangerous to an officer.
Absolutely. We always tell people, don't let them get close to you. I mean, a single punch can kill you or can cripple you or can put you in a wheelchair, can blind you. I mean, it goes on and on. And honestly, I've not been through the academy, but I've done an awful lot of force-on-force training, and that's where you get your eyes open to how quickly things happen, how confusing things can be, and how you've got to be able to think your way through the chaos of the moment.
You just nailed it. And it's almost, training, obviously, repetition is the mother of skill, as we said on the SWAT team for many years, is really you're reacting. You're almost not thinking your way through it. You're reacting your way through it because most shootings, most deadly force incidents happen within 3 seconds. And in the words of officers in the book, a blink of an eye, a clap of a hand, and other expressions that they use. But when you're doing hands-on self-defense, work, and you're overpowered so quickly on the ground, grasping for breath, that's when it becomes real. And it becomes even more real when you're on the street and you face those types of situations alone, by yourself, or with other officers.
What are the crazy things you hear from the public that indicate how little people understand about police shootings or when police are being assaulted?
Well, there's so many of them. We address it in the book, everything from why the police shoot so many times to the epidemic of police shootings in this country. I guess I'll start with that. There is no epidemic. And when you study and examine all the research, which I did, and I have highlighted a few cases inside the book, is the numbers of the Washington Post did the study. I think you referred to it before. And the numbers of police deadly force incidents are very, very few. In fact, it's 0.00033 of 1%. Every single day in this country, 34,000 people are arrested. We arrest a lot of violent people and take into custody people who are extremely violent with less lethal means, hands-on, batons, tasers. A taser is used every 2 minutes in the United States and Canada.
Wow.
So people have been truly misinformed, and they throw up the same videos over and over again to leave the public and good citizens confused about what's happening out there and the realities that officers face. The epidemic is simply not true. And then when you break down the demographics, it's even less.
And then you get the silly things like people saying, why didn't you shoot the gun out of his hand? Why did you shoot him in the knee? You've got an awful lot of real-world stories in here. The book is called Shots Fired. Joe, I'm looking at this and wondering, to what extent is the misinformation that the public has about this due to purposefully misleading news accounts, do you think?
I think it's prevalent. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what political entity is behind it or why these cases are shown over and over. Yeah, okay, let's start out with, yes, there are horrible mistakes. Yes, there are bad cops. Yes, there are poor tactics that may lead or precipitate an incident. But by and large, police do everything in their power definitively to avoid deadly force. In fact, it's less than 0.5 or 0.5% of police officers ever use their gun in their entire career. So the notion that cops are out there gunslinging or there's a epidemic of deadly force incidents is simply not true. But the pervasive rhetoric again and the misunderstandings that is perpetuated by poor politicians, self-serving politicians, some sports leaders, Hollywood people. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's not TV out there. It's not the movies. Real life is grotesque and dirty and hard, and it has severe consequences to the individual officer on so many levels, and also obviously to the deceased and their families, and the communities and the country. And yes, there's been a lot of poor reporting on initial information or portions of videos. And it goes on and on. So I think, again, we have a very confused public and a lot of good citizens, which I've talked to hundreds of people that
Joe, I got to jump in. I'm up against a break.
Yeah.
I've got to do this. The book is called Shots Fired. It's by Joseph Loughlin. I recommend it highly. I appreciate it, sir. I've got to run. There's a breaking story we've got to get to here. I'm going to take a quick break. Breaking story out of Texas, 27 dead, 30 injured in a church shooting. Check it out. It's breaking on the news right now. When we come back, we're going to be talking about exactly that. 866-TALK-GUN. Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of one football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime. Setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at TimneyTriggers.com.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at ShopGunTalk.com. Get prepared. ShopGunTalk.com.
Hardcore tactical professionals who put their lives on the line every day depend on Surefire. For decades, Surefire has built the first and finest professional-grade flashlights, weapon-mounted lights, hearing protection, and suppressors. We build the best because lives depend on it, and we know failure is not an option. We design, engineer, and manufacture Surefire products right here in the U.S. For you, for your loved ones, Surefire. American built, American strong. Surefire.com.
The Ruger pistol that started it all is now even better. The Ruger Mark IV has the same great look as the Mark III, but now its simple one-button takedown means less time taking apart your gun and more time shooting it. Disassemble it in seconds for no hassle cleaning. Learn more about the Target, Hunter, and 2245 Light Mark IV series models at Ruger.com. The Ruger Mark IV, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
I'm reading stories right now. At least 27 people killed. This is brand new, just happened. At least 27 people killed at a Texas church and multiple people injured, including a 2-year-old child, after a gunman, and this report says, in full combat dress, opens fire during the service. Police said the gunman walked into the First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs in Texas. It opened fire. One witness told authorities that among those who were shot in the attack was a 2-year-old child. First Baptist Church pastor Frank Pomeroy said his beautiful and special 14-year-old daughter is among the dead. Police confirmed that the gunman is dead. Not sure if the police killed him or if he killed him. People ask, why would you want to take your gun to church, to a place of worship? I can give you 27 reasons. Depending on the state, it might be a gun-free zone. In my state of Louisiana, it is. That needs to get fixed. In the days right now, when we are at war, we are 30 years into a 100-year war. Make no mistake about it. With the forces of radical Islam. They want to kill you. They want to kill your children. They want to videotape it and put it on the internet with them killing you and your children. And do you not think they want to kill Christians? And where would you go to find a lot of Christians in a place where you're probably not going to find resistance? Oh, a church. Yes, I am jumping to conclusions. Yes, I am. I don't know if this guy's nutso, but I would not be surprised to find that there is a radical element to all of this. A lot of churches have started arming parishioners. They have security teams. I'm looking at the pictures of this church. It's a little bitty church. In a small town in Texas. What do you do? Seriously, what do you do when you go to church? What do you do when you go to a theater? Do you take a position that gives you a tactical or strategic advantage? Do you think about things like that? Do you carry your gun? Could you make a shot? Think about how large your church sanctuary is. Could you confidently make a shot across corner to corner? Could easily be 75 feet, could easily be 25 yards. Can you make that shot? If not, why not? Are you carrying the wrong gun? Are you not practicing enough? Do you not have the confidence to do that? Because that may be what you're called upon to do. And there are going to be people, this is one of the weirdest things I hear. There are going to be people who say, well, if you shot back at this guy, you may hit an innocent person. Yep. Suck it up. And that would be horrible. And that would be hard to live with. But I might make him stop. I might distract him. Oh, I would distract him. I probably would hit him. Because here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm going to get my family out of there if I can. And then I'm going to advance on this guy. And I'm going to shoot him as many times as it takes to shoot him as I'm moving forward through the mess of people who are running around, because I'm not going to let him shoot anybody else. If I get shot so be it. If I get killed, so be it. But I am not going to hold my hands up and let him shoot me through my hands and kill me because I was asking for mercy from someone who is not about to give anyone any mercy. I will shoot that son of a bitch because I have a gun. And I know how to use it. And I practice. And I'm committed. I'm committed to saving my life and the lives of my family. And if it's a church, the lives of the people there. And if it's a school, the lives of the people there. And if you come in there, just know I am going to shoot you. And if that offends people, I don't care. At least 27 dead in a Texas church shooting today. I don't know if anybody in there had a gun. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. They weren't able to do anything about it. And here's the thing. I get it. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that having a gun means you're going to save the day. But it gives you an option. It gives you a chance. Because believe me, without it, you don't have much of a chance. What can you do? Run, hide, beg for mercy? Don't know what kind of gun the guy had. Don't have that information yet. Oh, it didn't take long. Democrats are calling for gun control in the wake of the Texas church shooting. On the Hill, Democrats are renewing their calls for gun reform. I like that instead of gun control. After news reports surfaced about a mass shooting at a church in Sutherland Springs, Texas. Senators Bob Casey and Dick Durbin were among the Democrats who urged Congress to act in response to the latest deadly shooting. People are still bleeding. People are still bleeding out. Doctors are trying to save lives, and these elected people, trying to find the words I can say on radio, are calling for gun control. They're advancing their political agenda while people are still bleeding. Bastards. 866-TALK-GUN. What do you do when you go to church? Do you carry? What are you prepared to do? 866-TALK-GUN. I want to talk about this. Check the news. Give me a holler. Let me know what you're thinking.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All right, I'm checking the news. I'm sure that you're doing the same thing right now. News coming out of Texas, just east of San Antonio, Texas, in Sutherland Springs, Texas. Looks like 27 people are dead in a church shooting. More have been shot. Don't know the numbers. If other people have been shot, there's always a possibility that the number of dead may rise as the people in medical care try to save a lot of these folks. 866-TALK-GUN. I'm asking the question, do you carry in church? And what are you prepared to do? Line 2, Dave's with us out of Pensacola, Florida. Dave, what do you think?
Yes, sir. Oh, Tom?
Yes, sir.
I'm shaking. I would have definitely been in the middle of that aisle, and he was showing my shiny cars, 44. He would have known I was screaming bloody murder at him, and when he looked up at me, yeah, I'd have been pulling. And there had been no way to slow down, and I would have been charging him full blast and aimed right center mass. And absolutely. And they say, you can't carry your weapon here. I do. I don't care. Look how many people get shot in Walmarts and stuff. I wear it in there, and I don't care. It goes with me everywhere I go, all the time. I sleep with it. It's right there on the other side of the bed. And
yep.
There's one on the bathroom door, and there's one on the front door of the kitchen. And there's always somewhere a defendable position. And, yeah, if somebody comes in, we're going to do it.
Well, and it's weird because I've actually heard people say, well, why do you feel the need to carry a gun in a house of worship? And I'm going, really? I mean, look at the news.
Like like you said, 27 reasons right there. A little baby.
27 reasons right there. Can't, and the thing is, people say, well, you couldn't have saved all those people. No, you're right. Because you don't know it's happening until the first shot goes off and you're reacting. But if the body count was less, that would be a good thing. That would be wonderful. If it's less by even one, that's one person saved. Jim's right. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. Justine, line 3, Granite City, Illinois. Church shooting. Justine, what are you thinking?
Oh, sorry, Tom. Yeah, this is Justin.
Justin, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We can blame Michelle. I apologize. Actually, I called with a question, but I had heard about this Texas situation, and it's reasons like this why I currently have a Model 642 on layaway for a deep concealment pistol for places where they don't want you to carry. And I've done some training. I've heard you preach it a lot that instead of buying another gun, get some training. And it's situations like this where people need to be able to draw and, where they have a place where they can go to practice the build drill or drawing, moving, shooting, finding cover, shooting more, things like that. And, it's one of those situations where if I've got my gun on me and it's something like that's going down, I'm either going home in a body bag or they are themselves. And
so you're wanting to carry a 5-shot 38 special, huh?
Well, for deep concealment situations.
I got you.
My current carry gun is a M&P 9 compact, 12-round capacity with +1 in the barrel, and I always carry a full-size 17-round mag for backup. So I've almost always got 30 rounds of negotiation with me. But,
well, you know what? That's a pretty good package to carry. I mean, there's got to be a way that you can carry that. Just throw on a sport coat over the top of it. Nobody's going to know you got it.
Yeah, and definitely. And, for those hot summer days, going out real quick or something like that, that's what that 642 is going to be for more than anything.
Right.
But nonetheless, it still gives me another option. But actually, if you don't mind, I had a question for you about some custom work done on a revolver.
Okay.
I've got a 3-inch Model 629 that I've actually considered getting rebarreled, and because I like to be able to hunt with it, but in my state you have to have minimum 4 inches. And for another Smith, I don't have $1,000 or a 750 laying around, and I've considered sending it back to Smith & Wesson and having them put on a different barrel.
Right.
So I just didn't know if you'd recommend going to a custom gunsmith or, maybe have a performance center do it and maybe have them kiss the trigger while they're doing it as well.
You could do that. You could send it to Clark Custom Guns in Shreveport. You could send it, there's an outfit called Cylinder and Slide. Okay. They do some really nice work. Just look up Cylinder. They get cylinder-slide.com. See what they talk to them, see what they could do. A lot of times they will offer things that are not on the website, but just call them and say, hey, could you guys do this? Yeah, not a bad way to go, but I appreciate it. And look, thank you for your thoughts on the church shooting. I appreciate that. Let me keep moving here. John's in Temple, Texas, line 4. John, you're on Gun Talk. What do you think?
Yeah, I would definitely carry it. I did when I was in my late 20s and early 30s. I had it with me all the time in my waistband on the inside. But I haven't owned a gun for many years, but I'm thinking of getting a pistol and getting concealed carry. I have my eye on the Ruger LCP-2 and the Taurus TCP-380. And I'm just wondering between the two, both are 380s. I know that the Ruger is probably a better buy, but it will. If I get the Taurus, I'll have a little extra money to put towards a concealed license. And I just wondered your opinion on: do you think the Taurus is a reliable, dependable pistol to have?
I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to answer that question. I'm going to tell you what I think. All right, because I'm going to answer the question that's not being asked. Get the one that you actually want. Forget the money for the moment. Because the thing is, you're going to have a gun for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And if you get the one that was almost what you wanted, every time you pick it up, you'll go, wow, I wish I'd gotten that other one. I've done it. I've done that. Get the one that you really want. If it's another $50 or it's another $100, spend the money. In 6 months, it won't matter. The money won't matter. But you will have the gun that you want. And so if you want the Ruger, buy the Ruger. It's got a really good trigger. It's got decent sights. I would also encourage you to at least consider getting a slightly larger gun, maybe in the Ruger size, the LC9, I think it is. I'm pulling a blank right now. I'm just thinking about this church shooting. It's hard for me to think about this other stuff. But yeah, get the one you truly want, and then spend some money on training. I appreciate the call, sir. Let's see, where are we? Oh, yeah, are we up against our break? Yeah, we are. I tell you what, let me run this by you. You know, we're talking about security and safety. You know, I've been using these Blink cameras. I've been talking about them. They keep working. They're easy. They're easy to work. They're easy to set up. You know, you never know where these people are. You can set them up where you can have your little cameras looking outside the door, on the outside, on the inside. You can even set up and have motion detection stuff going. It will send you alerts on your phone if it senses motion out there. And the guys at Blink have been real good. They've been working with us on this. They said you can get 3 of their Blink cameras. They say for what the other guys charge for one, plus an extra 10% off if you use the Gun Talk code. So if you go to blinkprotect.com/guntalk, you type in Gun Talk, all one word, you can get the 10% off. That's blinkprotect.com/guntalk. All right, we'll be right back, and I want to get your thoughts on church shooting in Texas. Do you carry in churches? Do you carry, frankly, where they tell you can't? And if you were in the middle of a church, what's your reaction going to be? What level of commitment have you made? Because you got to make that now. 866-TALK-GUN.
Colt National Match Ammunition, manufactured by Double Tap, is specially developed for performance and accuracy. Real match ammo, designed with competition power factors in mind. Colt National Match Ammunition by Double Tap Ammo, available in stores now.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
Every crossbreed holster is handmade based on the design invented by our founder. A Kydex pocket molded around your gun for perfect retention. Leather backing for comfort. Specially designed clips allow you to tuck in your shirt for complete concealment. The highest quality mag carriers and belts sturdy enough to hold any gun. Our holsters come with a lifetime warranty and 2-week try-it-free guarantee. Crossbreed. Conceal and carry the cross. Crossbreedholsters.com.
It's really pretty simple. Your carry gun is a life-saving device. It must be with you. That's what the Springfield Armory XDS is all about. Small enough to carry, big enough to shoot comfortably, shockingly slim, single stack, with a 3.3-inch or 4-inch barrel, available in 9, 40, or 45. Highly accurate, great trigger, fiber optic front sight for fast aimed fire. The XDS at springfield-armory.com. That's springfield-armory.com.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great.
The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
Double Tap ammunition, loaded with quality components, hand inspected and made in the U.S., offering 481 loads in 82 calibers. Find your next shot at DoubleTapAmmo.net. DoubleTapAmmo.net.
We're watching the news right now. If you haven't turned on the TV, you may want to do that. Turn sound down. You can listen here. 27 dead in a church shooting near San Antonio, Sutherland Springs, Texas. Small town. Gunman goes in, shoots up the place, takes off in his car. Police went after him. I don't know if he killed himself or the police shot him. Don't know yet. A lot of information is not out, and a lot of it will be misleading, and we will get more information in the next day or two. But we do know that this guy killed more than 20 people. Maybe right now we're hearing 27. And I'm asking the question of you: when you go to church, do you carry a gun? Just straight up, do you? If not, why? I truly would like to understand that. Have you ever been told by somebody in your family, oh, you don't need to carry there? Oh, that doesn't seem appropriate to carry there. 866-TALK-GUN. Gary is on line 2 out of Idaho. Gary, talk about the church shooting. What do you think?
Yes, Tom, this makes my brain hurt. It really does. We have ghouls in Congress who are telling people that they should be a soft target, that they should give up their right to protect themselves simply because they're going to a church or wherever else. Whatever law they come up with will do absolutely no good because the bad guys never follow the law. How can they expect anybody with a brain to follow that logic?
Yeah, I mean, you got somebody who is planning and executes a mass murder. There's no law that will stop him from that. If not that, he will use an explosive, or will use a truck, or use a whatever. And my question for you, what do you do, Gary, if you're going into a church or some other place? Do you carry?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't know what's behind the door or behind anything. You have to be prepared especially in today's world, you've got to be prepared for anything. You can't be prepared for everything, but by golly, if you're at least carrying, you have a fighting chance.
What does being prepared mean to you?
Well, being prepared means as much training as you can get. Firearms training, knife training, any kind of martial arts training, anything that you can train with that will protect you and your family against anyone who wants to do them harm.
Well, it pretty much covers it. I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you. Got about a minute. Tell you what, Roger, don't go anywhere. We'll get to you. Come on the backside. We've got about a minute left here. I'm just looking at this, and I'm the same way. My brain hurts. My heart is broken thinking about this. Small town. Everybody in the town is going to be affected by this. Everybody. Hundreds of families affected. Don't know anything about the shooter at this point. Just know that for a lot of people, they say, well, it's a safe place. Why would you need a gun? Because you need a gun. But more than that, you need training. And I'm just going to tell you right flat out. Let me give you this website, shopguntalk.com, shopguntalk.com. We have some great deals on videos there, DVDs, concealed carry. Get the 1911 video. It's fabulous, whether or not you use a 1911. Learn how to use a gun. Learn how to think about how you use a gun. Learn to anticipate. What am I going to do if? And then if that doesn't work, I'm going to do this. And then if that doesn't work, I'm going to do this. It's your life. It's your family's life. It's the lives of the people around you. You make the commitment. Be that guy. 866-TALK-GUN. Talk about the shooting that happened an hour or two ago in Texas. 27 dead, at least. Man goes into a church, shoots it up, kills a bunch of people. 27 dead, 30 injured, I'm seeing now. Gunman in, quote, full combat gear. Roger, line 3, Fort Smith, Arkansas. Your church, Roger. What's the situation there?
We have an armed safety team. We haven't done the licensing to be called a security team, but we have a safety team. It's the pastor and everybody in the church knows. They appreciate us for doing our jobs. We man the doors. We visit with everybody coming in and out of the church. We know the people. Anybody strange coming in that looks a little fishy, we watch them. And I'll guarantee you, nobody in full tactical gear is coming in that church that we don't know.
What would be your reaction? You see a guy come into the church with full tactical gear, and he's probably got a rifle with him?
First thing I'm going to do is scream for backup and bring the rest of the safety team to my back, and then we're going to confront him.
Do you guys have a code word you use?
Yes.
Don't tell me what it is, okay?
No.
Okay, good. Do you train together?
Yes, we do. We train quarterly.
Okay,
and then we're always talking about what other scenarios might happen.
Right.
We walk through the church occasionally and talk about safe points as concealment versus cover. Mm-hmm. And most of the parishioners that know that we carry have all told us thank you for doing what we do.
I want to make a suggestion. You may already do this, okay? But I'm just going to make a suggestion. If you're not doing it already, get everybody in your team a blue gun and practice moving through the church and all the buildings and everywhere you go with blue guns so you know how to move. Get somebody who is trained in that stuff, a local police officer, or particularly a SWAT guy to come help you with your movements, what you do, and then work it with blue guns so nobody is bringing a loaded gun. It is very, very valuable. And Roger, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing for your church and for the people around you. That is taking responsibility for the safety of other people. Good man. Thank you, sir. All right. I don't know that we have. Yeah, we can get Jack. I'm going to get you in here. I got 1 minute. Line 4, church shooting. Go, Jack.
Howdy. I just want to comment on that tragedy. It just brings me to tears to think about it. But I believe in the current situation in our country with all the terrorist activity there is and all the lunatics out there who have a grudge of one sort or another, everybody, bar none, everybody in this country should be carrying a gun, concealed or otherwise, and be ready. If you're fired upon or threatened, fire back, shoot to kill. Don't waste time with any ethics and morals questions in your mind. You may go down. You may go down in a horrible mess. You may die at it, but if you're shooting back, you're going to be protecting other people, and I believe that every one of us should be carrying a gun and should be ready to fire and use that deadly force instantly, and I think we all ought to train with our neighbors and our friends to do so.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just going to wrap up on this. I'm going to go to the after show. We're going to keep talking about it, so I would ask you to give us a call and participate in the after show. Call us at 866-TALK-GUN or Tom Talk Gun. Perhaps this will do it for some people. Perhaps this will do it for you. Perhaps this will motivate you to always carry, to make the commitment. I'm always going to carry. I am going to get that training I've been saying I need to do. I'm going to get those DVDs at shopguntalk.com. I'm going to get the ones that Tom and his crew put together. I'm going to go take some serious classes. I'm going to commit to doing it every year. You could be the one. It could happen when you're there. It's going to happen again and again and again and again. The only question is, what are you prepared to do? What are you going to do? Will you help other people? Will you help yourself? Will you help your family? Make the commitment. Please be safe out there.